Hello, welcome to Fair Lady of the Loch. Thank you for joining me today. In our journey of the Fool, we have gone through the Fool, we have gone through um, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, and we have come to the Hierophant. Okay, now the Hierophant represents religion, traditional spirituality, but it also represents education. And so I thought what I would do today is combine the religious and spiritual elements of the Hierophant with the education elements of the Hierophant, and we would talk about spiritual ritual for asthmatics, the pulmonarily compromised, and those who have birds in their houses, such as parakeets, parrots, lovebirds, pigeons, doves, and that sort of thing. A lot of times when you have difficulty with asthma or pulmonary disease of some kind, or birds specifically also, you can't have burning incense or candles or things like that in your household because that can be a trigger and it can be harmful for your birds. And so I remember when I first got started in my spiritual journey in the metaphysical world, I was concerned about whether I could participate in a lot of different activities and rituals and things and spells and whatnot because I had asthma. And thankfully, I've sought medical treatment and it has improved, but I still do have difficulties, and incense is one of the things that I really struggle with. And so I had to find other ways to do certain kinds of spiritual activities. And this can be helpful regardless of whether you belong to a standardized religion of any kind, or whether you follow a more metaphysical, spiritual, eclectic path, a pagan path. Whatever spirituality that you follow, adhere to, or none at all, that is welcome and respected here, and I hope you're able to take away something that is useful to you. There are a large number of asthmatics and people with pulmonary disabilities and diseases in the world, and so it's pretty much guaranteed that you know someone in your life, whether you realize that you do or not. And this can also, if you don't have any issues yourself, it can also make you more aware of how to include others in your spiritual ritual where they're safe in that environment. So first we're going to start off with sage burning, okay? Sage burning is often used to cleanse a space. However, for many asthmatics and pulmonarily compromised and those with birds, smoke is a problem. Alternative cleansing tools that can be used in place of burning sage or incense include water of any kind, whether you choose to use holy water, such as this here, or you use moon water, okay, or you create a salt water or a essential oil, depending on what your asthma triggers are, whether that works for you. But water is an excellent way of cleansing a space. Salt is another excellent cleanser. Sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, black salt, whatever works best for you. Okay, in your preference of energies. Crystals such as clear quartz. Clear quartz is like the crystal version of sage burning. Okay, this will cleanse and purify anything that you wish to do. Okay, so if you've picked up something from a thrift store that you really loved and you wanted to be part of your collection, but you wanted to remove the energies of somebody else before you, obviously wiping it down and literally cleansing it, but then using crystals such as this in place of sage burning is very useful. It's also good in place of incense and that sort of thing for cleansing, as is selenite. Okay, and you can use whichever, whether it's desert rose that you prefer, the pink selenite with that loving energy, or the white selenite for its purifying and cleansing. Either way, those are excellent, excellent crystals to use for cleansing. Okay? Obviously, literally cleaning a space, whether you use soap and water, a disinfectant that's safe for you to breathe, Florida water, or essential oils can be mixed with water, vinegar, whatever it is that you can be around and breathe around that is a cleansing agent is good for that. Another big one is just fresh air. Fresh air is an extraordinary cleansing agent. It is just a wonderful free resource for all of us to use. There's a German expression, I'm probably going to botch this, but it's frisches Luft ist gut. And it just means fresh air is good, It's good for the mind, body, and soul. Some essential oils, like I said, can be used, but these are to be used with caution, okay? While one essential oil may work for you, another may not. So, for example, I can do clove and mint and orange and lemon, but I can't do like rose or lavender or citronella, right? So we have certain ones that work for us and ones that don't. And so just be very careful in figuring out which ones work for you and your breathing and which ones do not, okay? Another beautiful cleansing agent is moonlight. We're using the moon card from the Rider Tarot to represent that, okay? As well as sunlight. And that is an exceptional cleansing agent, okay? Music and sound is another, because music and sound can permeate a space, whether it's using a bell, and I'm going to use this little teeny tiny one so the sound doesn't overwhelm, but you can use a bell, you can use music, you can use your own voice in whatever capacity. Singing is good for the soul, it's good for your breathing and lungs, but also that personalizes that cleansing experience for your space, okay? And whatever music that you like, it doesn't matter as long as the intention is for that music to cleanse your space. Another thing that can be done, especially if you are more drawn to the earth elements, is burying an item, as long as the item won't get ruined or destroyed or disintegrated. Burying it in the earth and letting the earth energies cleanse that and take away anything negative that might be in it, and then when you dig it back up, it's good for use. Okay. All right. Many ceremonies use candles. However, smoke and scent can be a problem for some. Alternative options to this include battery operated candles or electric. On my metaphysical space, my desk, I actually have those little plug-in Christmas lights, that look like candlesticks. and I love that. It gives a beautiful glow all night long and while I'm working, and they flicker like a candle would. Solar powered lights. There's a lot of really cute outdoor fairy type lights that use solar power. And that can work in an outdoor or indoor space if you've got it charged outside. Manipulated sunlight is another one, and I use this on the window above my desk. It's a protective Celtic knotwork. And you manipulate the sunlight with the stained glass to use color magic of the stained glass with the cleansing element of sunlight and a protective sigil all at once. And I find it to be particularly effective. And I'm also very fond of stained glass. And then lava rock to symbolize fire. Okay, so you can use a big chunk like this, or medium-sized or small, depending on what it is that you need to accomplish. Okay, so when you're doing a ritual, if you decide that you want to represent north and south and east and west, but you can't use a candle for your southern position of fire, something red can work for that, or lava rocks, and bringing that fire element in there. And fire quartz. This is my personal favorite to use in place of a candle. I absolutely love using the fire quartz and having that intention be there. And it is such a beautiful, beautiful crystal. Another lava inspired, volcanic inspired crystal is obsidian, because it is a volcanic glass. And this also can be used to represent the fire element. Okay. All right. Now, as far as cord cuttings and things like that, where you use a candle to have the flame cut the cord, but if you can't do that because of asthmatic and breathing or pulmonary reasons or birds, then literally cutting a cord, okay, will absolutely do the trick. It's the intention of what you're doing that matters more than anything else. Incense is often used as a sacrifice offering to the divine. You see this in a lot of different religious and spiritual paths. However, this can be unsafe for asthmatics, the pulmonary compromised, or birds. I myself, as I shared with you, have a great difficulty with incense, and I'd rather not be in the hospital when I want to do something. So here are some possible alternatives to that. Flowers and herbs, okay? Have them out in a bowl like this, or grind them up with a mortar and pestle. Use them in whatever manifestation or spell work that you wish to do. Having flowers around your house, lavender, thistle, roses, eucalyptus, cloves. I just have a bunch of different flowers in here for different intentions. Okay, so that can be used in a space as an offering or as a manifestation. And you can offer food and drink. And here, you can just set out and this is just an oatmeal cookie on a plate. Whether you are okay with it going stale and you offering it to the spirits of nature afterwards, or whether you'd still be able to utilize the cookie in eating it in honor of whether it's the ancestors, spirits, or the divine, then you can have it wrapped still for safety use. Okay, and any food or drink that speaks to you absolutely can be utilized. I know that alcohol is a very common drink that is used in offerings to deities within certain paths, such as Norse. And if you cannot have alcohol in your household, then juice is an absolutely excellent replacement for that. As we said, music is excellent as a replacement for cleansing, but it's also an offering that can be made. Making a sound, dancing, anything that you yourself can make from your body can be given and used as an offering in place of incense. And that includes, if you are more into praying or offering up praise in any way in your religious or spiritual path, that is an offering, just like incense that goes up to the heavens, so too does your voice. Okay? If scent is required for what you're trying to achieve, okay, there are some religious practices where they believe it is the smell of the incense that is the thing that pleases whatever God or spirit that you are hoping to reach with the offering. Then, like I said, essential oils, as long as you can still breathe around them, make sure you're careful about how you select that. But also, particularly fragrant flowers. Certain roses are much more fragrant than others. And those are often marked when you go to buy a rose bush. They'll tell you, like, if you like, I think it's David Austin or something like that, it'll tell you that this one is particularly more robust in its fragrance, right? lavender, depending on what your asthmatic triggers might be, having those more potent smelling um, flowers or herbs. Clove is another delightfully potent smelling one that you can offer up in replacement. And then, as always, giving of your time, your energy, and your talents, okay, is absolutely acceptable. And everyone has talents. And it's the intention that matters. So whether you're trying to manifest something, trying to offer up a gift, whatever it is, it's the intention that matters. And so I wanted to talk to you briefly about how using intention, because I know a lot of people like to use intention candles, or their incense has certain intentions, right, that they wish to accomplish. And so I wanted to show you a way that you can do that without having anything burning, okay? And this is longer lasting than a candle or a burning incense, and I have managed to tangle it somehow here in the waiting. Okay, so some people call this a witch's knot, some people call it an intention knot, whatever you're more comfortable with, but you can create this with any sort of string or cord, and charms, pendants from necklaces, like from the thrift store, or passed down from generation if you just have loose pendants. Or there's charms available in all sorts of different craft stores. And so each knot, while you are tying it, represents an intention of yours, and then you can hang it wherever you wish. So, for example, this thrift store pendant here that I cleansed reminded me of the star. So this is for healing, right? The moon is for intentions. And then I have another moon that represents, for me, the spirits, the ancestors, and, well, actually, this is the spirits and the divine. And then I have my ancestors with the tree here. And then this is my own living family that is with me, okay, that is still alive, grandparents, parents, and so on and so on. And their protection and love and guidance in all of these. And then this key with the moonstone on it is the intention of my motherly love for my children and keeping them safe and helping them to live a good and loving, productive life. And then, because I am extremely drawn to water, and a lot of my own personal peace, tranquility, and power is derived from water and being around it, I have chosen this abalone and mother of pearl here pendant on the bottom here that belonged to one of my grandmothers. Okay, so this is one of my personal ones that I have put together. And then here is another. If you don't like the silver, you can do it in the gold or whatever color that you wish. And it has a similar sort of energy where I have this I love you to the moon and back pendant that represents my love and my children. This star for healing, reminds me of the star card. And I have my ancestry, the spirits of nature, those that are still here, my grounded roots, my homeland. And then the other side, which I have represented as the Summerland, for those of you that are familiar with that mythology. Here, just representing that, the other side, the other world. So whatever it is that's important to you, that means something to you, can be incorporated in this. Pets, if that's your deepest love, whatever it is that what intentions you have, you can make as many of these as you want with as many different intentions as you want. And there are so many amazing artists out there who make these beautiful pendants. So you could even have something special ordered if that suited you. And you can make one with crystals that's entirely crystals as well, or shells, or even herbs. I've seen that done too, with cinnamon sticks and spell bottles at the end. Okay, and intention, as intentions goes, you can do any kind of satchel, spell bottle, or spell bowl to help you manifest with your intentions in that way too, for a replacement of intention candles or incense. I hope that you found this video to be helpful. If you did, please let me know in the comments. If there's anything you felt I could improve upon, please also let me know that. Be gentle and kind as you do so. If you have anything that you like to use in place of fire or incense, things that might be an asthma or pulmonary trigger, please absolutely share them in the comments. I am always researching and looking for new and different ways to express my spirituality and enjoy the metaphysical traditions of the world. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye.